Are you concerned about this injury?
Yes, I am, because Aaron Rodgers is obviously the most important part to the Green Bay Packers. But from a football context, when you get to the point of playing these top other teams in the NFC and you're trying to make a Super Bowl run, people forget this, okay? And Stephen A knows this. Aaron Rodgers' mobility can kill you on the football field. He extends plays as well as any other quarterback in the NFL. That is what he does. But he extends to throw, but he absolutely is an athletic quarterback that at times uses his legs to continue possessions and drives going. And not to mention, they just lost Elton Jenkins, one of their best offensive linemen. They plan on getting Bakhtiari back, but you could see an increased amount of pressure on Aaron Rodgers as well. So I'm thinking about all of these things in a line. And you think about 12 being injured. This is an injury, by the way. He's playing through an injury. He's not playing through pain. He's not playing through something that hurts a little bit. It's an injury he's dealing with. So projection-wise, because we're talking about Green Bay in the context of going to the Super Bowl. We're not talking about Green Bay in winning games or having a successful season. And when you think about Aaron Rodgers, when you think about Aaron Jones being out, everything aligning, this team is battling attrition right now from an injury standpoint. But the most catastrophic one is if Aaron Rodgers can't be full Aaron Rodgers with the things that he may lack going down the stretch. So here's the thing for me. Aaron Rodgers can play through this. We've obviously saw him play through it. I don't know if the injury progressively gets worse while he's playing, while he's going down the stretch. But the thing that makes me worry, Molly and S.A., is if Aaron Rodgers gets to these games and he has to be mobile because of pressure and he's not able to do it and make those throws that we're so accustomed to, extend those third down drives, make the run. Stephen A., we was on this show last year, remember? And we were talking about the playoff game. And Aaron Rodgers should have took off. That was the whole conversation. Aaron Rodgers should have ran that ball to the end zone.
Third down, sir, yeah.
These are the type of things that happen when you're trying to win a championship. So I'm a bit nervous about it because if he's hampered physically, that takes away a huge element of who he is as a quarterback.
Hell with that. Call me when it actually happens. As far as I'm concerned, as long as I see him behind center flinging that football, I ain't worried about his damn toe. I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here on national television and a superstar quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, who is a bad man, make no mistake about it, despite the fact they got on my damn nerves for lying or being deliberately deceitful about all of this stuff with being vaccinated or immunized and stuff like that. He's still a bad brother. I still love him. And here's the bottom line. I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I'm going to sit on national television and say, I'm concerned about his toe.
You're offended for Aaron Rodgers.
I understand. Listen. I've had toe injuries. I know you've had toe injuries. Listen. I've had toe injuries. I know you've had toe injuries. I understand that.
We're not talking about a hangnail. You go get a pedicure.
No.
We're talking about a toe injury.
No. I'm saying if you play sports, you know, at some point in time, you incur a toe injury. Yeah. Trust me on that. The point that I'm trying to make to you is it hurts like hell. You know what? Get over it. You're a basketball player. I feel you on that. A football player on grass, and your primary responsibility is to backpedal and fling that football. I'm not dismissing anything that Swagoo is saying because he knows. He played the game. I get it. I understand it. But you look at it from just a technical, literal perspective. You're not running up and down 94 feet on a hardwood floor. You're not sitting there going back and forth as a tennis player, okay? You're not doing something like that. Hell, you ain't even on skates, all right? You are backpedaling in the pocket on grass, and your primary responsibility is to fling that football. In no way am I saying that the injury is fake. In no way I'm saying that that's not something that could have you injured and a bit hobbled. I'm saying in the end, if you are Aaron Rodgers and you can throw the football, I'm good. I'm good. And I got the Rams this week, and then I got a bye week. So I got the Rams this week, and then I got a bye week. And where's the Rams game? Oh, that's in L.A. Sunshine, because it's hard in cold weather. We all know how cold weather can affect every part of your body. They ain't going to be at Lambeau Field.
Man,
He going to be in SoFi. He going to be in SoFi. Put on some thermal socks. Wrap that bad boy around even more. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, put on 2 damn pairs for all I care. And put one of them extra cushions near the toe that hurts. All right? And by the way, when you're backpedaling, all right, just find a way to work around it. But I'll be damned if I'm going to worry about Aaron Rodgers' toe. You give me finger, thumb, shoulder, elbow, something like, yeah, his toe, please. I don't want to hear that. Handle it. I ain't saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying handle it. I ain't worried about it. Handle it. Figure it out. Figure it out. His toe. Please. Please. If I sat up there, Marcus, and I told you, Marcus, if I sat up there and I said to you, yo, man, I injured my wrist or I injured my knee, right? So I can't show up the first take. You know what you'd say? What the hell I got to do with your mouth? You can talk, can't you? Get your behind on the show.
Marcus,
That's what
you
you
get the
say.
last word.
No.
Marcus, you get the last word with all this foolishness that's happening right now.
know? That's what he'd say.
You know what? This is spoken like a true blinded fan of a person. Okay, Molly, why wouldn't your boy Stephen A. mention the fact that he got 300-pound linemen coming after him every time he dropped back? If it was just as simple as I'm gonna drop back and fling the football, he'd never be injured. He'd never have a problem. If it was as simple as that, the problem is, and matter of fact, let me say this. You mentioned who they about to play. Do you know Von Miller over there and Aaron Donald over there and Leonard Floyd over there?
Yes.
You think that he's just going to be able to drop back and fling the football without having to move
Can I say this?
at all?
No. What I'm saying, Marcus Spears, is this. When he goes down, because they will put him down, I don't think they're going to target his toe.
Okay, all right.
They're going to
target.
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it.
You used your foot. You planted on your foot.
I don't want to hear it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.